Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for coming back to the channel. Now, I rarely get on here and bash companies or people, but we need to have a conversation. And this was brought on about a recent influx into the Facebook groups about Arise IBOs. So, Arise has two different ways that you can contract them. You contract directly through them or through an independent business owner. Now, you're not an employee, this is a 1099 position. So, why would I say don't work for them? Because most IBOs will charge you like $49.99, $59.99 per pay period to give you your money. Yes, that is what I said. So this lady was on one of the Facebook groups and she's like, oh, go to Arise and this and that. And people who didn't know any better, they were asking questions about it. And I'm like, don't you all charge to process their pay? And she got on there and she's like, well, that's normal. No, it's not. So I didn't get nasty with her. I just like, no, I've done a lot of 1099, because she's like, you don't know what you're talking about. You've never done 1099, Becky. And y'all know I've done some 1099. I'm like, no, I listed all the companies. I said, none of these companies charge you to get your paycheck. She goes, well, if we didn't charge them to get the paycheck, they'd be an employee, not 1099. You don't know what you're talking about. You never worked 1099. I'm like, Lord, Jesus, give me the strength. The strength, Lord. So I'm like, okay. I said, again, I've done 1099 for years. This is not a common business practice. Again, listed companies. I said, however, you do need to tell people, because when you're 1099, a common cost is your background check. That's usually the only legit cost you should have, is your background check. And you can count that off on taxes. You cannot count off on taxes the fee they charge you every pay period to give you your own money. Now listen, do not allow anyone to charge you a fee to work with them. If I go out and say I DoorDash. DoorDash is a 1099 gig. Get in my car, go to McDonald's, grab the food, drive over to the person's house, and then I sit there and I give them their food, take a picture, and leave. Now, they can tip me, which is not something you shouldn't expect. You should, but legally no. But we're not tipping Arise to process our paycheck. DoorDash does not charge the dasher for processing their paycheck. Instacart does not charge the shopper to process their paycheck. LiveOps does not charge the 1099 remote contractors to process their paycheck. Working Solutions does not charge. Omni does not charge. NextRep does not charge. Verifast does not charge. Arise is the only company that I know of that contracts with 1099 and charges you to process your check. And the lady didn't want to come off of it and talk about that. And, she got defensive about it. Kept insisting, I don't know what I'm talking about. I've never done 1099. Like, come on. I got a YouTube channel about 1099. Y'all been with me on this 1099 journey for years. So I was just like, you know what, we're going to have to agree to disagree on this, because I'm not bringing that sort of energy into the Facebook group, because we're all trying to, do our thing. I said, but you do need to be upfront and tell people before they pay for that background check, before they pay to contract with you, what you're taking out of their check. Because they're not telling them. They're not being upfront. So the post goes, Arise, we have many clients available. Good. Go ahead and click this link and apply. Yay. We get paid every blah, 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 blah. Hooray. But there's no mention of we charge you this amount to process your payroll. So basically, they're making money off the number of people that they can contract with. Now, another thing about Arise that you need to know about. Say I'm with IBO Amy, and I've been working for Amy for 6 months to a year or something. And I'm like, you know what? I don't feel like the communication with Amy is great. But wait a minute, Linda over here has an IBO. I think I'd rather work for Linda. The problem is you have to get Amy's permission to leave Amy's IBO. Amy could just say, nope, either you're working and I'm making that $59.99 per paycheck off of you, or you're not working for Arise. Because you can't just leave an IBO. You have to be let go with their permission. And if they're making $59.99, like here's a calculator. $59.99, we'll say you get paid twice a month, and that's $119.98. Over the course of a year, she makes $1,439.76 off of you. Say she has 30 people in her IBO. That's $43,192.80. They make money off of you. Now, yes, they have to have systems, but this is a cost of doing business. If you are wanting to approach this as a business and not just a 1099 contractor, then yes, there are expenses, but you take those expenses off your deductions for taxes. As a 1099 operator, you cannot, to my knowledge, maybe you can, but as far as I know, cannot sit there and deduct the processing payroll, $59.99 per pay period, that you get charged. So, no, they're making money off you, literally. So it's kind of crazy. So I want you to think twice. I'm not saying, don't contract with Arise. You can contract with them as your own person, okay? And whatever contract you deal with them, read through the fine print and do that. If you're going to contract through somebody's independent business owner, IBOs, then you need to know and be careful, because you can't just decide to leave. They have to let you go, and they're not going to do that because that takes money out of their pocket, because you're working every week, and every pay period they're getting that $59.99 off you for not doing very much, in my opinion. Not saying they're not doing nothing, but they're not doing a lot. So, it is a cost of doing business, and that's what they'll say to you. But just be aware of the fees and charges, because you're paying for that background check, and I believe you have to pay for the class, and that money goes directly to Arise. And then you're paying for your check to be processed on time. And if you're unhappy, well, to hell with you. So anyways, this is just a quick talk. I just want to put that information out there. Your mileage may vary, and y'all have a good day.